You're not poor because the world is unfair. You're poor because you never learned Babylon's rules of gold. You work hard, but money slips through your fingers. You save but never grow. You chase wealth but never master it. Today, that ends. This is the richest man in Babylon. Not a story, but a formula. The ancient laws of wealth, written in stone, tested for thousands of years. Listen carefully, because the man who obeys these laws never stays poor again. Chapter 1. Stop earning blindly. Start controlling gold. You wake up early. You work all day. You grind. You hustle. But at the end of the month, your pockets are still empty. Why? Because effort without control is slavery. You see, money doesn't respect hard work. It respects control. And that's the first Babylonian law of wealth. Babylon's richest men didn't have the fastest horses, the strongest arms, or the longest hours. They had control. They ruled their gold before their gold ruled them. That's the difference between a worker and a master. A worker earns. A master controls. A worker chases. A master commands. Listen carefully, because this chapter is about your first transformation. You must stop earning blindly and start controlling gold deliberately. Every time you earn, you're standing at a crossroad. One path leads to control. The other leads to chaos. When you earn and spend mindlessly, you're not living, you're leaking. You earn today and lose it tomorrow. You tell yourself, I'll save when I earn more. But Babylon taught the truth. If you can't control a little, you'll never control a lot. That's the key. Control starts now. Not when your salary doubles, not when your luck changes, not when someone rescues you. Now, you have a choice. Either you own your gold, or your gold owns you. Look around your life. Look at your hands. How many hours have they traded for nothing? How many nights have you worked only to see your gold vanish like smoke? That's not fate. That's not bad luck. That's poor control. The Babylonians called it the leaking purse. Every man has one. A purse that leaks because he never ties it shut. He earns, he spends, he earns again, and the cycle repeats. But the wise man, he learns to tie the purse tight. He counts every coin. He directs every dinar. He controls where it flows, when it grows, and when it returns. Control is not greed. Control is mastery. Control is power. Most people confuse activity with achievement. They think being busy equals being productive. They think working hard equals being rich. That's the trap. You don't need more effort. You need more direction. Hard work builds gold. Control builds wealth. The rich don't count hours. They count results. They don't let gold slip away through emotion, impulse, or ignorance. They command it with logic, discipline, and purpose. That's what made Babylon the wealthiest city in the ancient world. Not luck, not magic, control. Let me give you an image. A man in Babylon, we'll call him Aryan, worked from sunrise to sunset. He made bricks for the king's palace. He sweated, he suffered, he earned. But every payday, he spent his gold on wine, music, and comfort. He said, life is short. I'll enjoy now. Years passed, and he grew old, with no gold, no land, and no peace. Then there was Dabasir. He earned less than Aryan, but he ruled his coins like a general commands soldiers. He told each coin where to go. One for food, one for shelter, one for saving, one for growing. And when trouble came, Dabasir didn't panic. His gold obeyed him. His life obeyed him. That's the difference. Control isn't about denial. It's about direction. You don't need their permission to be disciplined. You don't need the world's approval to take control. You don't even need more income. You need more command. Command means knowing where every coin sleeps at night. Command means giving your money a mission, not letting it wander. Command means no more. I don't know where it went. If your money doesn't have a purpose, it will always disappear. If your income doesn't have a plan, it will always fade. Control your gold, or your gold will control you. Now, let's get practical. How do you take control? Step 1. Track every coin. Write it down. Every coin in, every coin out. Don't lie to yourself. When you face your spending, you face your truth. Step 2. Name your money. Before you spend, decide what your gold serves. 10% you. 20% survival. 10% growth. 10% learning. The rest, wisely managed needs. Step 3. Kill mindless spending. That daily coffee, that random subscription, that endless impulse. Those are leaks. Every leak steals your future. You don't cut them because you're poor. You cut them because you're powerful. Remember, control is not restriction. Control is freedom. And step 4, reward obedience. When you follow your plan, when you resist the urge, when you master your emotions, reward yourself. Because discipline without reward dies fast. But discipline with reward becomes habit. Every Babylonian who grew rich did it not by chance, but by law. The law of control. They didn't pray for gold. They planned for it. They didn't beg for wealth. They built it. Coin by coin. Plan by plan. Day by day. And it all started with one decision. Stop earning blindly. Start controlling deliberately. Let's make it clear. You don't need more gold. You need more grip. You don't need luck. You need leadership and over yourself. Control is leadership. Control is maturity. Control is saying, no, not now, when everyone else is saying, why not? Control separates the rich from the restless. It separates the disciplined from the distracted. It separates the builder from the beggar. And it begins today with you. You have a choice. You can keep chasing money, or you can start commanding it. Because money doesn't respect hard work. It respects control. Control your gold, or your gold will control you. Say it again. Control your gold, or your gold will control you. So let this be your first law of Babylon. Every coin you earn must have a commander. Every coin must have a duty. Every coin must report back home. From this moment, every dollar, dinar, rupee, or riyal that enters your life must serve your plan, not your emotions. This is how you move from working for money to having money work for you. You can earn blindly, or you can control wisely. You can chase or you can command. The choice is yours. And your choice will decide your destiny. You've taken the first step. You've learned the first law of Babylon. You've stopped earning blindly and started thinking like a master. Now it's time to go deeper. Because control without direction is still chaos. You can control gold, yes, but what do you do with it next? Let's answer that in the next chapter. You've learned control. Now it's time to learn growth. Chapter 2. Pay yourself first always. You work for everyone. For your landlord. For your bills. For your food, your taxes, your comfort, your habits. Everyone gets paid. Except you. That's the truth. You've been trained to serve every master except yourself. You've been told, be responsible, pay your dues, be generous. But no one told you the most important rule of wealth. Before you pay anyone else, pay yourself. That's not selfishness. That's survival. That's law. The second Babylonian lord of wealth. In ancient Babylon, a man named Bansir built chariots. He worked hard every day for years. He built chariots for kings, for merchants, for soldiers. Yet he had no gold of his own. One morning, he sat on the wall of his house, staring at his empty purse. And he realized something powerful. He had spent his entire life paying everyone else, the merchants, the food sellers, the winemakers, but never himself. So his gold never stayed. His work had no fruit. Then he met Akkad, the richest man in Babylon, who gave him one rule. Of every 10 coins you earn, keep 1 for yourself. Not for your wife, not for your debts, not for your desires. For you. That was the turning point. That's the key. That's the difference between the broke and the wealthy. Because if you don't pay yourself first, the world will consume everything you earn. Let's say it clearly. You owe yourself more than anyone else. You owe yourself security. You owe yourself freedom. You owe yourself peace. Every paycheck, every deal, every income, 1/10 belongs to you. Not for spending. Not for flexing. Not for showing. For building this is not negotiable. This is not optional. This is law. Before you pay anyone else, pay yourself. Here's the problem with most people. They say, I can't save now. I'll start when I earn more. That's the lie that keeps people poor. Because if you can't save 1 coin out of 10 today, you won't save 10 out of 100 tomorrow. It's not about the amount. It's about the habit. It's about the discipline. You have a choice. Keep feeding the world or start feeding your future. When you keep saying someday, that day never comes. But when you say now, your future begins. So start with 1/10. Just 1. 10% of every coin, Every paycheck, every side hustle. It's not the number that matters. It's the obedience. Here's how the transformation happens. At first, it feels impossible. You'll feel the resistance. Your bills will scream. Your habits will protest. Your comfort will fight you. But remember, your habits work for you or against you. And if you obey this rule long enough, your habits will start to obey you. Month after month, your purse grows heavier. Your confidence grows stronger. You start to feel something you haven't felt before. Control. You stop living paycheck to paycheck. You stop worrying about next week. You start commanding your gold, not chasing it. Because every time you pay yourself first, you send a message to your mind. I matter. My future matters. My freedom matters. Let's make it practical. You earn 10 coins. You keep 1. You spend 9. But wisely. If you earn $1,000, you keep 100. If you earn 10,000, you keep 1,000. The numbers don't matter. The ratio does. That 1/10 becomes sacred, untouchable, non-negotiable. It's not emergency money. It's not vacation money. It's not, I'll just use it for now money. It's yours for investment, for opportunity, for building your empire brick by brick. This one act, paying yourself first, is how you step out of financial slavery. Because every coin you save is a soldier, and every soldier you train will fight for your freedom. Now you might say, but my expenses are too high. That's exactly why you're poor. You've built your life around your expenses instead of around your priorities. Expenses will always grow to match your income. That's human nature. But the wise man reverses the law. He grows his savings first, then fits his life around what remains. That's discipline. That's control. It's not about earning more. It's about keeping more. It's not about desire. It's about direction. You don't need their permission to pay yourself first. You don't need approval to protect your gold. You don't owe anyone before you owe yourself, because no one else will secure your future. No one else will fund your freedom. No one else will care more about your money than you do. Before you pay anyone else, pay yourself. Think of your future self. 10 years from now, he's watching you today. He's hoping you'll start. He's praying you'll be disciplined. Because every coin you keep now becomes his peace later. Every month you delay becomes his regret. So don't wait. Start now, not next week. Not next raise. Now. Take 10%, set it aside, and don't touch it. Ever. That small act, repeated over time, turns into something unstoppable. Not because of magic, but because of momentum. That's how Babylon's richest built their fortunes. That's how Arkad, once poor, became the city's wealthiest man. He paid himself first, every time, without fail, without excuse. That's the key. Consistency. Because the world rewards those who reward themselves. You have a choice right now. You can keep working for others, or you can start working for yourself. You can keep paying bills endlessly, or you can start paying your freedom fund silently. You can keep saying, I'll start when things get easier. Or you can say, I'll start because things are hard. The choice defines your destiny, so repeat it until it burns into your soul. Before you pay anyone else, pay yourself. Before you pay anyone else, pay yourself. Before you pay anyone else, pay yourself. That's the first act of wealth. That's the seat of power. That's the mark of a master. And when your gold begins to grow, when your savings start to smile back at you, you'll understand something profound. Wealth doesn't come from earning. It comes from keeping. It comes from discipline. It comes from obeying this one timeless law. The poor think money is for spending. The rich know money is for commanding, so command it. Protect it, grow it, and never forget, the first person you must pay is you. You've learned to keep what you earn. You've learned the law of ownership. Now, it's time to learn the law of multiplication. Because saving is not enough. Your gold must work. You've mastered the art of keeping. Now, let's master the art of growing. Chapter 3. Make gold work, even while you sleep. You can work for money, or money can work for you. One path leads to exhaustion. The other leads to freedom. The choice is yours. That's the third Babylonian law of wealth. Make your gold work, even while you sleep, because saving alone won't make you rich. You can save for years and still stay small. You can hoard coins and still live in fear. Why? Because idle gold is dead gold. Wealth doesn't grow in silence. It grows in motion. It grows through use, through risk, through intelligent direction. Gold must move. Wisely, let your gold have children. And let your children have children. That's the key. Arkad once told this story. A young man came to him, proud and excited. He had saved 50 pieces of gold, his life's first fortune. He wanted to make it grow, so he gave it to a brickmaker who was traveling to buy jewels. "Sell them entire," he said, "and we'll both profit." But the brickmaker knew bricks, not jewels. When he returned, the jewels were worthless glass. The man's gold was gone. Arkad smiled and said, "You let your gold work for a fool. You sent your coins to die." The lesson is eternal. Don't just make your gold work. Make it work wisely. Everyone wants to earn more. Few want to learn more. That's why they lose. You don't need more effort. You need more intelligence. You don't need luck. You need wisdom, because gold will obey wisdom and punish ignorance. When you invest without understanding, you gamble. When you invest with knowledge, you multiply. That's the difference between speculation and creation. Here's what you must understand. Every coin you own is a potential worker. Each coin can bring you more coins, but only if you send it to the right job. If you let it sit in a drawer, it sleeps. If you let it rest in fear, it decays. If you use it foolishly, it dies. But when you guide it with discipline and purpose, it multiplies. Let your gold have children, and let your children have children. That's the rhythm of wealth. Imagine this. You save 100 coins. You invest them wisely. They earn 10 more coins. Now you have 110. You reinvest again, and those 10 coins bring 10 more. That's compound growth, the silent army of Babylon. Gold working day and night. Gold that never sleeps. Gold that builds freedom while you rest. That's the key. That's the discipline. That's the secret the poor ignore, because they think work ends when they stop working. The rich know work continues, even in silence. Your gold doesn't need rest. Your gold doesn't need breaks. Your gold doesn't complain. It just needs direction. Let's talk about you. What is your money doing right now? Is it sitting in a bank, earning crumbs of interest? Is it locked away because you're scared to use it? Is it buried under fear and what if? Then it's dead. And dead gold serves no master. You must wake it up. You must make it serve you. That doesn't mean reckless risk. It means intelligent motion. Buy knowledge before you buy opportunity. Understand before you invest. Ask the right questions before you hand over a single coin. That's discipline. That's how the rich protect and grow their gold. Let me give you a rule, one that saved countless Babylonians from ruin. Invest only where your understanding is strong and your control is clear. If you don't understand how something makes money, don't touch it. If you can't explain the risk in one sentence, don't join it. If it sounds too easy, it's a trap because money multiplies slowly, steadily, and silently. The greedy rush. The wise grow. Remember, gold grows through patience, not through speed. Let your gold have children, and let your children have children. That's how time becomes your partner, not your enemy. There's another truth. When you invest in your own skill, you multiply yourself. Every new skill, every new idea, every new habit, that's wealth. Because your mind is the first investment tool you'll ever own. Before you invest in business, invest in learning. Before you buy gold, buy wisdom. Before you fund someone else's dream, fund your education. That's the foundation of Babylon's riches. You don't need their permission to learn. You don't need approval to grow. You just need the courage to begin. It's not about greed. It's about growth. It's not about chance. It's about consistency. Wealth follows understanding, not emotion. Now, let's get practical. Take your savings, the 1/10 you've been keeping, and divide it into 2 groups. Group 1, safety, your foundation, your security. Group 2, growth, your soldiers, your working gold. Your safety gold never moves. It protects you when life storms. Your working gold, however, must move. You lend it to trusted ventures. You invest it into wise trades. You use it to acquire assets that generate income. And every time your gold returns with more, you reinvest the offspring. You let your children breed. That's how small gold becomes great fortune. You don't need miracles. You need multiplication. That's the key. But remember, control stays with you. Never let excitement make you blind. Never hand your gold to the unwise or the untested. Babylon fell once, not because of war, but because of greed. Men rushed into foolish ventures and lost everything. So learn this balance. Be bold enough to invest. Be wise enough to verify. Be patient enough to wait. Because wealth is not built overnight. It's built over decades of disciplined choices. That's how your gold grows while you sleep. That's how freedom grows while you work. You have a choice. You can be a worker forever, or you can make your money your worker. You can spend every coin, or you can plant it. You can let fear rule, or you can let wisdom lead. The poor ask, how can I make more? The rich ask, how can I make my money multiply? That's the difference. That's the secret. That's the law. Let your gold have children, and your children have children. Let every coin become a worker that never sleeps, never stops, never tires. You've learned how to save. Now you've learned how to grow. And when your gold begins to multiply, you'll understand what true power feels like. Quiet, steady, inevitable. Because wealth is not luck. It's law. It's motion. It's mastery. You've mastered control. You've mastered growth. But wealth without protection is still fragile. It can vanish overnight if you let fools touch it. So before you move further, you must learn the fourth law of Babylon, the law of protection. Because what you build must now be guarded. Chapter 4. Guard your treasure from fools. Listen carefully. Many men in Babylon worked for years, earned piles of gold, and lost it in a single foolish decision. Not because they were lazy, not because the gods were against them, but because they trusted the wrong people. That's the truth. The downfall of the average man is not ignorance. It's misplaced trust. You think you're being loyal. You think you're helping a friend. You think you're investing. But what you're really doing is handing your treasure to a fool. And here's the rule of life in Babylon and in your world today. Never trust your gold to those who know nothing about gold. That's the key. That's the law. And if you break it, your gold will vanish faster than you can earn it back. A man once lived in Babylon. He was careful, hard-working, and proud that after 10 years of labor, he had finally saved a small pouch of gold. He dreamed of multiplying it so he could rest easy, feed his family, and enjoy the fruits of his effort. One day, a friend came to him with a golden opportunity. "We'll buy fine jewels from far lands," the friend said, "and sell them to the merchants for profit." The man hesitated. He knew nothing about jewels, but he trusted his friend. You know what happened next. The jewels were fake. The merchant laughed, and the gold was gone. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't fate. It was foolishness disguised as friendship. Let this sink in. Seek the advice of the wise, not the familiar. You have a choice. Every time someone offers you an opportunity, you have a choice. You can listen to the voice of wisdom or the voice of emotion. Most people choose emotion. They invest because they like the person, not because they trust the logic. They follow a friend, not a formula, and then they wonder why they keep losing. It's not about greed. It's about discipline. Discipline to say no when your heart wants to say yes. Discipline to ask, do you know what you're doing? Discipline to admit, I don't know this, and neither do you. Guarding your treasure doesn't mean hoarding it. It means being intelligent with it. The rich man of Babylon was not paranoid. He was precise. When he wanted to invest, he went to the gold lender, the merchant, the builder, men who worked with gold, traded goods, or built wealth daily. He asked them how gold flows, how risk behaves, how markets change. He didn't ask his neighbor. He didn't ask his cousin. He didn't ask the fool who had never held gold. And here's what you must remember. Advice is free, but wrong advice is the most expensive thing in the world. When a fool touches your money becomes foolish. When a wise man guides your money becomes wise. It mirrors its master, so look closely at who you trust. Ask, have they done this before? Have they succeeded at it? Can they show results, or do they just speak dreams? If the answer is no, walk away. You don't need their permission. You don't owe them loyalty. You owe yourself protection, because that's the truth. Your gold is your servant. If you don't protect it, it will run into the arms of fools who will waste it. And once it's gone, it rarely returns. Let's be clear, every generation has its own fools. In Babylon, they sold fake jewels. Today they sell fake dreams. They promise quick returns, guaranteed profits, easy money. But the language of the fool has not changed in 4,000 years. They all speak the same dialect, the dialect of greed. They will flatter you. They will rush you. They will say, "Trust me." And that's the moment you must remember the Babylonian rule. Seek the advice of the wise, not the familiar. Do you know what separates the wise from the fool? The wise earn slowly. The fool promises fast. The wise plan carefully. The fool acts emotionally. The wise protect their gold like a newborn child. The fool throws it into the wind, hoping it grows wings. You have a choice. Every time someone offers you a shortcut, you have a choice. And every time you choose patience over speed, discipline over emotion, you grow richer in more ways than one. Now, here's what you must do. Before investing, seek proof. Not words. Not dreams, proof. Has it worked before? Has someone credible done it? Can you verify it? Never mix friendship with finance. If you must help a friend, give as a gift, not an investment. That way, your friendship and your gold both survive. Make it a rule to consult experts. If you want to build houses, talk to builders. If you want to trade, talk to merchants. If you want to grow wealth, talk to investors, not talkers. That's the key. Knowledge protects. Ignorance destroys. And remember, you don't need everyone to agree with your caution. You don't need their permission to say no, because the fool will always mock the wise until the fool goes broke. Babylon taught this through pain. The man who lost his gold to the fake jewels never forgot. He became wiser. He learned to guard his treasure with vigilance. He became a student of those who had succeeded. And in time, he earned it all back, multiplied. Why? Because he stopped trusting the familiar. He started trusting the experienced. That's how you build unbreakable wealth. That's how you move from poor to powerful. Say it out loud. Seek the advice of the wise, not the familiar. Seek the advice of the wise, not the familiar. Seek the advice of the wise, not the familiar. Drill it into your mind until it becomes instinct, because the moment you forget it, you'll lose what you've built. But when you live by it, your gold will grow, your confidence will rise, and your future will finally rest on a foundation of wisdom, not luck. You've learned how to protect your gold from fools. Now it's time to learn how to multiply it. Not through risk, but through wisdom. You've guarded your treasure. Now let's talk about how to make your treasure guard you. Chapter 5. Master the law of multiplying gold. Listen carefully. The poor chase money. The rich multiply it. That's the truth. That's the eternal law of Babylon. And it has never changed. Wealth doesn't come from earning more. It comes from letting your gold work while you sleep. From patience. From wisdom. From time. This is the law of multiplying gold. It is not a trick. It is not a secret. It is a discipline. Because here's the truth. Every coin has the power to create more coins. But only if you let it. Only if you protect it. Only if you give it purpose. Patience turns small coins into empires. That's the rule. That's the key. Arkad, the richest man in Babylon, didn't start rich. He started as a scribe, carving numbers into clay tablets for a few copper coins a day. But Arkad learned something that most men never do. He learned the rhythm of gold. He didn't rush it. He didn't waste it. He made it work. He lent his coins carefully, to merchants who knew trade, to builders who knew bricks. Every loan returned with a small profit. Not a fortune, not a miracle, just steady growth. But here's what most people don't understand. Steady growth becomes unstoppable growth when you don't interrupt it. That's the power of time. That's the power of patience. Arkad's gold began to double. And when that doubled gold was lent again, it doubled again. The coins multiplied like living things, breeding generation after generation of gold. That's compound growth. That's the true miracle of Babylon. Let's put it simply. If you save one coin, and that coin earns a small return, that's one child. If that child earns a return, that's your grandchild. If you repeat this long enough, you build an empire. That's the law. That's how you win the quiet game of wealth. But here's the problem. Most people break the law. They interrupt the process. They kill the offspring of their gold before it can grow. They withdraw. They spend. They panic. They forget that time is the farmer of wealth. And they wonder why their gold never multiplies. Listen, it's not about luck. It's about consistency. It's not about getting rich fast. It's about staying invested long enough. You have a choice. You can be the man who keeps digging new holes every year, or the man who waters one tree until it bears fruit. That's the key. The man who multiplies gold is the man who refuses to start over. Every time you touch your savings, you destroy its potential. Every time you interrupt your investment, you cut its roots. Your gold grows best when it's left alone, quietly, patiently, faithfully. That's the discipline. That's the test. Patience is not weakness. Patience is strategy. It's what separates builders from beggars. Think of the farmer. He plants his seed, then waits through seasons of heat, rain, and wind. He doesn't dig up the seed every week to check its progress. He trusts the process. That's what you must do with your gold. Plant it, protect it, let time multiply it. Because time is the greatest ally of the wise and the greatest enemy of the impatient. Now let's talk behavior. What must you do? Rule number 1. Reinvest your returns. When your gold gives birth, don't spend its children. Let them breed. Reinvest every profit, every dividend, every gain. This is how you create momentum. And once momentum starts, it rarely stops. Rule number 2. Avoid the urge to upgrade your lifestyle too early. The poor man earns more and spends more. The rich man earns more and invests more. You have a choice. You can look rich or become rich, not both. Rule number 3. Track your growth. You can't multiply what you don't measure. Count your coins. Watch them grow. And every time they grow, say it aloud. Patience turns small coins into empires. Repetition builds belief. Belief builds discipline. Discipline builds empires. Let me tell you something most people never realize. Every empire in history began with patience. Babylon wasn't built in a week. It was built brick by brick, trade by trade, decade by decade. And so it is with your gold. You don't need a windfall. You need a routine. You don't need genius. You need discipline. That's the key. It's not about knowledge. It's about behavior. People say they want wealth, but they live like gamblers. They chase trends. They panic at losses. They move their money from one dream to another. You can't build stability on chaos. You can't build compound growth on inconsistency. If you want wealth that lasts, you must stop acting like a sprinter. Start thinking like a builder. Every piece of gold is a worker. Your job is not to spend it, it's to assign it. Give every coin a mission. Let it earn while you rest. And when it returns with profit, don't celebrate by wasting it. Celebrate by redeploying it. Let your gold have children, and your children have children. That's the game. That's how Arcade became the richest man in Babylon. He didn't chase gold. He raised it. He built a system that worked for him, even while he slept. His gold became his servant. His servants became his soldiers, and his soldiers protected his empire. That's the chain reaction of wealth. It begins with one decision: to keep your gold growing. You have a choice today. You can be the man who spends his future on today's pleasures, or the man who builds his future through today's discipline. You can trade your time for gold, or you can make your gold trade for you. That's the key. That's the law of multiplying gold. It's not a secret. It's not a theory. It's a habit, and habits build destinies. Say it with me. Patience turns small coins into empires. Say it again. Patience turns small coins into empires, because when you truly believe that, you'll stop rushing. You'll stop comparing. You'll stop killing your own growth. Wealth is quiet. It moves slowly, but when it arrives, it stays. And that's the reward for patience. You've now mastered the law of multiplying gold. You've learned to let time work for you, not against you. Now it's time for the next step, because multiplication means nothing without protection. You've learned how to grow gold. Now learn how to guard it from loss, decay, and distraction. Chapter 6. Stop the leaks. Kill useless expenses. Listen carefully. Most people don't need more money. They need fewer leaks. That's the truth no one wants to admit. Because blaming low income is easy. Blaming bad luck is easy. But facing your waste, that's hard. You say you work hard. You say you deserve more. But here's the question. What happens to what you already have? The answer is simple. You pour your gold into a leaking pot. And here's the rule of Babylon. Cut the leaks before you fill the pot. That's the key. That's the difference between the man who stays poor and the man who becomes rich. Let's talk about Dabasir, a man of Babylon who once had gold, but lost it all. Not because he didn't earn, Not because the gods cursed him, but because his expenses grew faster than his income. He loved fine clothes. He loved food, wine, and pleasure. And every time his purse filled, it emptied faster. He was running, but never arriving. Earning, but never keeping. Living, but never progressing. One day, a wise moneylender told him something that changed his life. Dabasir, you are not poor because the gods have forgotten you. You are poor because your desires are greater than your discipline. That hit him like thunder. Because that's the truth for millions today. It's not about income. It's about leaks. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. That's the key. The leaks are everywhere. Small pleasures, pointless habits, tiny indulgences that seem harmless, but destroy your wealth silently. 1 copper here, 2 coppers there. And before you know it, your purse is empty again. It's not the big losses that ruin you. It's the small invisible leaks that go unnoticed for years. Every unplanned meal, every impulsive purchase, every subscription, every upgrade, every I deserve this. You tell yourself it's small. But gold never leaks in buckets. It leaks in drops, and drops over time drown your future. That's why you must stop and take control. You have a choice. You can live by emotion or by discipline. You can let desire drive your spending or let vision drive your saving. Discipline doesn't mean deprivation. It means direction. You don't have to stop enjoying life. You just have to stop wasting life. Every coin must have a purpose. Every purchase must have meaning. If it doesn't move you forward, it moves you backward. There's no neutral ground when it comes to money. That's the truth. That's the rule of Babylon. Let's get practical. Here's what you must do. Today, not someday. Step 1. Write down every expense for 30 days. Every single one. The coffee, the snacks, the random online buys, the rides, the fees, all of it. Why? Because you can't control what you don't measure. That's the first step in sealing your purse. Step 2. Separate needs from wants. Needs sustain life. Wants decorate it. Wants are fine if your gold allows. But if your wants eat your savings, your future is the meal. Step 3. Create a boundary, a spending wall. Decide how much you'll spend and stop when you hit the limit. No excuses. No, just this time. The poor man breaks his own rules. The rich man enforces them. Every time you cut a leak, you buy freedom. Every time you stop a waste, you create space for wealth. That's the truth. You think it's about sacrifice, but it's really about control. When you stop the leaks, you stop the anxiety. When you stop the leaks, you stop living paycheck to paycheck. When you stop the leaks, you stop selling your peace for pleasure. You have a choice. You can live like everyone else, broke, stressed, pretending. Or you can live like the wise, calm, in control, building your empire 1 copper at a time. It's not about being cheap. It's about being smart. The fool spends to look rich. The wise save to become rich. That's the difference. That's the key. In Babylon, a merchant once said, "A full purse quickly empties when a man confuses comfort with waste." Understand this. Comfort is not the enemy. Waste is. A comfortable man invests in what strengthens him. Food, learning, health, stability. A wasteful man buys what weakens him. Distractions, vanity, and fleeting joy. Ask yourself before every purchase. Does this feed my growth or feed my ego? Does this build my future or bury it? If you can't answer honestly, the answer is already no. You don't need more gold. You need more clarity. Here's another truth. Every time you stop a leak, you are giving your future self a gift. Every unnecessary coin you save today becomes a worker tomorrow. Cut the leaks, and your gold will multiply. Ignore them, and your gold will vanish, even if you earn more. That's why rich men stay rich, and poor men stay poor. Because discipline is not about income. It's about awareness. You don't fix your finances with luck. You fix them with logic. Now, repeat this until it burns into your mind. Cut the leaks before you fill the pot. Say it again. Cut the leaks before you fill the pot. And again. Cut the leaks before you fill the pot. That's not just a rule. It's a warning. Because if you don't cut the leaks, no amount of gold will ever fill your purse. You'll keep earning. You'll keep losing. You'll keep wondering why you can't get ahead. And the answer will always be the same. You never fix the leaks. So today, make a new promise to yourself. Track, control, cut. Stop the leaks before you try to earn more. Because earning more without discipline is like pouring water into sand. Your gold deserves better. Your effort deserves better. You deserve better. You have a choice: to stay blind or to take control. Choose control. Choose clarity. Choose discipline. Because discipline doesn't drain your joy. It protects it. That's the truth. That's the power. You've now learned how to stop your leaks. You've taken control of your expenses. You've sealed the holes in your pot. Now it's time to go further. Because keeping gold is one skill, but making it serve a greater purpose is another. You've learned to control your spending. Now, let's talk about how to control your future. Chapter 7. Learn before you leap. The fool rushes into business without understanding it. That line has ended more fortunes than failure itself. Because ignorance, not risk, is the real killer of wealth. You have a choice. You can be the fool who leaps because he's excited, or the wise one who learns before he moves. That's the key. It's not about speed, it's about strategy. Not about luck, but logic. Not about how fast you start, but how long you last. In ancient Babylon, there was a man who heard of traders making great profits on foreign camels. He dreamed of joining them. Quick returns, easy money, fast glory. So he sold his gold. Every coin he had. He handed it to a man who knew someone, who promised to double it within months. The trader left Babylon with his camels and never returned. The man was ruined. His savings were gone. And when he went to Arkad, the richest man in Babylon, to complain, Arkad said one sentence that should be carved into your mind. You trusted in something you did not understand. That's it. That's the mistake. That's the trap most people still fall into today, 4,000 years later. Repeat it with me. Wisdom before action, always. Say it again. Wisdom before action, always. Because when you act before you know, you pay to learn. When you learn before you act, you earn to grow. You have a choice. You can pay for knowledge before the mistake or after. But either way, you will pay. The wise pay with time. The fool pays with everything. Let's bring it to today. A man scrolls social media. He sees everyone trading crypto, starting a business, flipping real estate. He gets jealous. He gets excited. He jumps in with no research, no study, no understanding. And when it collapses, he says, "It wasn't my fault, but it was." Because he leapt before he learned. Listen, wealth doesn't respond to emotion. It responds to education. You don't get rich because you feel ready. You get rich because you're prepared. That's the difference between the wise and the impulsive. That's the line between Babylon's rich and Babylon's poor. So what do? How do you learn before you leap? Step 1. Learn the rules of the game. If you don't know how something works, don't touch it. You wouldn't fly a plane without training. You wouldn't perform surgery without practice. So why do you invest your savings without study? Money doesn't forgive ignorance. The market doesn't care that you didn't know. That's the law of gold. It obeys wisdom, not emotion. Step 2. Ask the wise, not the familiar. You don't ask your friend who's broke about business. You don't ask your cousin who's struggling about investment. You seek advice from those who have done it, not those who talk about it. That's the discipline of wisdom. Arkad said it perfectly. Seek counsel of those skilled in the trade, wherein thou wouldst profit. Step 3. Start small. Test before you trust. Never put all your gold into what you don't yet understand. Dip your hand, not your whole body. Test, observe, learn. If it works, grow. If it fails, adjust. That's not hesitation, that's intelligence. The fool rushes. The wise prepares. The fool dreams. The wise plans. The fool trusts words. The wise watches actions. You don't need their permission to wait. You don't need their approval to be cautious. You only need your own discipline. You think you're being bold by jumping, but boldness without understanding is suicide dressed as courage. Don't confuse recklessness with bravery. True courage studies first, acts second, and sustains third. That's the difference between the fool who plays and the master who profits. Think about this. You see a new app, a new product, a get-rich idea. Your friend says, "Bro, trust me, this will blow up." You jump in. You don't research. You don't calculate. You don't question. 6 months later, your trust turns to debt. You lost not because life is unfair. You lost because you followed noise instead of knowledge. You chased excitement instead of information. And that's how most people lose their gold. Quietly, consistently, foolishly. So learn before you leap. Wisdom before action, always. Because here's the truth. Every loss in your life started as a lesson you ignored. Every regret began as advice you rejected. Discipline starts with humility. The humility to say, I don't know yet. That's power. Because when you admit you don't know, you begin to learn. And when you learn, you stop losing. The fool says, I already understand. The wise says, teach me more. The fool acts fast. The wise acts right. You have a choice. Do you want to look smart now or become rich later? Because both paths do not exist together. You can impress people or you can understand systems. Pick one, that's the key. Before you start, study. Before you spend, learn. Before you risk, ask. Before you trust, verify. Before you act, observe. That's not hesitation. That's preparation. The Babylonian merchants didn't guess. They calculated. They didn't wish. They waited. They didn't chase. They chose. That's how gold multiplies. That's how wealth endures. That's how freedom begins. You don't have to know everything, but you must know enough. Enough to protect your gold. Enough to avoid traps. Enough to move with confidence. Stop being impressed by fast talkers. Stop chasing every shining idea. Stop confusing urgency with opportunity. If you don't understand it, don't buy it. If you can't explain it, don't trust it. If it sounds too good, it probably is. You have a choice. Learn first or lose later. That's the eternal truth of Babylon. So from this day, remember one law above all. Wisdom before action. Always. That's not a slogan. That's survival. Because ignorance will bankrupt you faster than poverty ever could. You've learned how to think before you leap. Now it's time to master how to make your gold work while you rest. Because true wealth is not built by working harder, it's built by working smarter. Chapter 8. Protect your reputation like gold. Listen closely. Gold is valuable, but reputation is priceless. You can earn coins and lose them in a day. You can build wealth and watch it vanish in a moment. But your reputation, your word, once broken, it may never return. In Babylon, a man's word was his bond. His bond was his wealth. His reputation opened doors, created opportunities, and multiplied gold without effort. You have a choice. You can chase coins blindly, or you can protect your character. That's the key. Core principle, direct, repetitive reinforcement. Be honest. Be reliable. Be remembered. Repeat it again. Be honest. Be reliable. Be remembered. And again, be honest. Be reliable. Be remembered. This is not optional. This is not negotiable. This is the law of all true wealth. Story example. Babylonian illustration. Consider Nomasir, a young man in Babylon who inherited a small fortune. He was offered a deal that promised great profit. The deal required him to lie about his business to secure a bigger contract. He hesitated because the temptation was enormous. If he lied, he could double his gold overnight. He refused. He refused because he knew his word was more valuable than temporary gain. Months later, the same merchants who had doubted him returned, not just with business, but with trust. Trust that could not be bought. Trust that multiplied his fortune far beyond the one-time deal he had rejected. That's the principle. Wealth follows trust. Trust follows integrity. Integrity follows discipline. Analysis. Practical implications. The modern world is no different. Contracts, deals, jobs, partnerships, everything depends on trust. One broken promise. One dishonest act. One betrayal of confidence. And suddenly doors close. Opportunities vanish. Gold becomes meaningless. Your reputation is a bank account that never closes. Every action deposits credibility. Every lie withdraws it. And you can't overdraw without paying a heavy price. You have a choice. Every day, every deal, every word. Will you deposit or withdraw? That's the key. Real-world application. Step-by-step instructions. Step 1. Speak only what you can deliver. Don't promise more than you can do. Don't commit for appearances. Your word is your bond. If you say it, do it. Step 2. Admit mistakes immediately. No one respects perfection. Everyone respects honesty. When you make an error, admit it. Explain it. Correct it. Move on. Trying to cover a mistake destroys trust faster than the mistake itself. Step 3. Surround yourself with honorable people. Your reputation is influenced by the company you keep. A dishonest partner, friend, or employee can stain your credibility. Choose wisely. Discipline your environment. Step 4. Build consistency over time. Integrity is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Show up, be reliable. Keep promises. Over time, your reputation becomes your greatest asset. Reinforcement, repetition for retention. Be honest. Be reliable. Be remembered. Repeat it again. Be honest. Be reliable. Be remembered. Because when gold is stolen, your reputation remains. When opportunities are lost, your word opens doors. When people forget your wealth, they remember your character. Practical behavioral tips. Tough love coaching style. Avoid shortcuts. Avoid lies, exaggeration, and deception. Avoid the temptation to cheat for quick gain. Every time you cheat, someone notices. Even if they don't, your subconscious notices. Your discipline weakens. Your focus fractures. Your power diminishes. True wealth requires alignment between action and word. It's not about who you impress. It's about who you earn respect from. Modern example. Relatable scenario. Think about a business today. A company cheats its customers. A manager lies about results. An employee breaks a promise. The short-term gain may look attractive. Revenue may spike, but reputation spreads faster than profits. The company loses clients. Opportunities dry up. And one mistake costs far more than months of dishonest profit. That's the same principle Babylon taught. Gold comes and goes. Your word, your reputation lasts. Protect it like gold, because it is more valuable than gold. Internal transformation, coaching insight. You have a choice. You can earn coins without honor, or you can earn respect that multiplies coins. It's not about appearing clever, it's about being credible. It's not about immediate gain, it's about lasting influence. And here's the truth. The man who is known for honesty never worries about the market. He never struggles to find partners. He never begs for opportunity. Because opportunity seeks him, because trust follows integrity. That's the discipline of reputation. That's the discipline of wealth. That's the law of Babylon. Be honest, be reliable. Be remembered. Say it aloud. Be honest, be reliable. Be remembered. Say it again. Let it echo in your mind. Let it guide every action. Because each time you live by it, you multiply your power. And each time you ignore it, you risk everything. Final instruction. Transformation focused. From today, monitor your word. Monitor your promises. Monitor your behavior. Discipline yourself to honor your commitments. Discipline yourself to tell the truth. Discipline yourself to be someone people can trust. Your reputation is your gold that never devalues. Your trustworthiness is your shield against poverty, betrayal, and failure. And when all else fails, your integrity will ensure survival and opportunity. You've learned how to protect your reputation. You've learned how trust multiplies opportunities. You've learned that integrity is the foundation of lasting wealth. Now it's time to take your gold beyond protection. It's time to make it multiply, even while you sleep. Because controlling gold is one skill. Making it work is the next knob. Chapter 9. Make your home a fortress. Wealth is more than coins. It is not just gold in your pocket. True wealth begins at home. Your environment shapes your mind, your choices, and your discipline. In Babylon, a man who built his home first, his foundation, his family, his security, could expand business without fear. A man who ignored his home, who lived in chaos, lost focus, lost money, lost power. You have a choice. You can chase the market while your house crumbles, or you can secure your fortress first. That's the key. Control your environment, control your life. Core principle: repetition and reinforcement. A man without a fortress is a man without freedom. Repeat it. A man without a fortress is a man without freedom. And again, a man without a fortress is a man without freedom. Why? Because when your home is unstable, your mind is unstable. When your spending is reckless, your priorities collapse. When your environment is chaotic, your opportunities are wasted. Gold cannot protect a man who has no fortress. Knowledge cannot save a man who lives in disorder. Discipline cannot grow in chaos. Story example: Babylon illustration. Consider Dabasser, a young Babylonian merchant. He dreamt of wealth. He borrowed heavily to expand trade, built lavish shops, and followed every opportunity. But he ignored his home. His debts mounted. His family suffered. He became a man trapped by his own ambitions. Then he learned discipline. He rebuilt his home. He organized his household. He controlled expenses. He paid off debts first. He stabilized his environment. Only then did he expand business. The result? Steady growth, reliable wealth, peace of mind. Because a man who controls his home is free to control his gold. Analysis. Practical implications. Your home is your first investment. It is your foundation. It is your fortress. If you live in disorder, your thoughts scatter. If you live in debt, your decisions are controlled by creditors. If you live without boundaries, your energy is drained by chaos. You have a choice. You can let your environment control you, or you can control it. That's the discipline. Step-by-step instructions. Real-world behavior. Step 1. Stabilize your living space. Declutter. Organize. Remove distractions. Your home should be a place of focus, safety, and planning. When your environment is calm, your mind is clear. Clear mind equals better decisions. Step 2. Control your spending. A fortress is not built on debt. Track your expenses. Eliminate unnecessary costs. Invest in essentials first. Shelter, food, education, health. Only then consider luxuries or expansion. Step 3. Secure your family and relationships. Your home is more than bricks and mortar. It is the people you live with, the agreements you honor, the culture you maintain. Neglect your relationships and you erode stability. Invest in trust, communication, and discipline at home. Step 4. Build long-term protection. Insurance, savings, and emergency funds are your walls. A man without a contingency plan is vulnerable to any storm. Plan for the unexpected. Protect your fortress before chasing external wealth. Reinforcement. Repetition for retention. A man without a fortress is a man without freedom. A man without a fortress is a man without freedom. Say it again. A man without a fortress is a man without freedom. Your home is not just where you sleep. It is where your discipline is enforced. It is where your habits form. It is where your wealth grows or dies. Modern example, relatable scenario. Imagine a man today. He invests in stocks, starts side businesses, takes risks. But his home is a mess. Bills unpaid, clutter everywhere, family stressed, credit card debt mounting. He cannot focus. He cannot take opportunities. He cannot think clearly. Contrast that with a disciplined man. He has a budget, a clean space, stable relationships. He sleeps well. He plans well. He acts well. Opportunities follow him. Gold multiplies. Risk is manageable. That is the fortress principle. Discipline inside enables success outside. Internal transformation, coaching insight. Control starts with your environment. It starts with your space, your spending, your household. It starts with what you can control today in your home. You don't need more gold. You don't need more opportunity. You need order. You need stability. You need freedom. A man without a fortress is exposed. He is vulnerable to crises, to bad decisions, to manipulation. A man with a fortress is free to act boldly. He is free to multiply gold. He is free to build empires. Reinforcement, commanding repetition. Build your fortress. Protect your home. Control your environment. Control your home. Control your mind. Control your mind. Control your money. Control your money. Control your life. A man without a fortress is a man without freedom. A man without a fortress is a man without freedom. Say it one more time. A man without a fortress is a man without freedom. Final instruction. Transformation focused. Start today. Organize your home. Pay off debts. Secure your family. Protect your space. Discipline your spending. Make your home unshakable. Make it a fortress. Because every great merchant, every wealthy man, every powerful leader in history understood this truth. Without a fortress, wealth is temporary. With a fortress, wealth endures. You've learned to build a fortress. You've learned that stability is the foundation of wealth. You've learned that control at home equals freedom in life. Next, it's time to multiply your gold without lifting a finger. It's time to harness the ultimate discipline of passive power. Chapter 10. Teach the next generation the laws of gold. Listen carefully. Wealth is fleeting. Gold can be stolen. Investments can fail. Markets can crash. But knowledge endures. Wisdom lasts. Legacy survives. Arcad, the richest man in Babylon, knew this. He did not hoard his wisdom. He taught it. He ensured his children and apprentices learned the laws of gold. Because if you do not teach, your gold dies with you. You have a choice. You can amass wealth and watch it vanish with your lifetime. Or you can transfer knowledge, turning fleeting coins into perpetual fortune. That's the key. Core principle, repetition and reinforcement. Teach the laws, or watch your gold die with you. Repeat it. Teach the laws, or watch your gold die with you. And again, teach the laws, or watch your gold die with you. Your wealth alone is not enough. Your habits alone are not enough. Your discipline alone is not enough. Without teaching, all your effort is wasted. You may die rich, but your family may struggle. Your fortune may crumble. Your life's work may vanish in one generation. That is the harsh truth. Story example. Babylon illustration. Consider Arcad teaching his son, Nomasir. He said, "There are 5 laws of gold. Learn them, live them. Teach them, do not ignore them." Nomasir was impatient. He wanted wealth immediately. He wanted gold in hand, not lessons in discipline. He borrowed, spent, and risked blindly. Arcad's guidance was firm. Gold comes willingly and grows through discipline. Gold flees the reckless. You must respect the law or lose everything. Nomasir learned the hard way. He lost some gold, but he listened. He applied the laws. He built wealth sustainably. Arcad's true success was not his fortune. It was his ability to pass on his knowledge. That is the essence of legacy. Analysis, practical implications. Every wealthy person faces the same question. What lasts? Your fortune can vanish in lawsuits, mismanagement, bad luck, or poor heirs. Knowledge does not. Skills do not. Habits do not. You have a choice. You can leave coins behind, or you can leave wisdom. You can leave gold that disappears, or you can leave discipline that multiplies wealth forever. That's the law. Step-by-step instructions. Real-world behavior. Step 1. Teach financial discipline early. Do not wait until your children are grown. Teach the value of saving, the danger of debt, the importance of earning before spending. Repetition is crucial. Spend wisely. Save diligently. Invest intelligently. Step 2. Explain the 5 laws of gold. Save at least 1/10 of all you earn. Control expenditures. Live below your means. Make your gold multiply. Invest wisely. Guard your treasures from loss. Seek advice of the wise. Increase your ability to earn. Continuously improve your skills. Repeat these laws often. Embed them in every conversation. Repeat until they resonate, until they become instinct. Step 3. Model behavior. Children learn by example. Do not lecture while living recklessly. Show discipline. Show patience. Show consistency. Your actions will reinforce every word you teach. Step 4. Encourage independence, not dependence. Do not hand over gold blindly. Do not protect them from failure entirely. Let them earn, lose, learn, and grow. Let them experience the consequences of discipline or its absence. This is how lessons become real. Reinforcement, repetition for retention. Teach the laws, or watch your gold die with you. Teach them by word. Teach them by example. Teach them until your children and apprentices can repeat them in their sleep. Without teaching, your fortune is fragile. Without teaching, your effort ends with you. Without teaching, your gold may multiply for a moment, but vanish forever. Modern example, relatable scenario. Imagine a man today. He works tirelessly. He saves diligently. He invests wisely. But he never talks to his children about money. He never teaches them to save, to invest, to plan. He dies wealthy. His children spend recklessly. Within a generation, the fortune evaporates. Contrast that with the disciplined parent. Shares lessons daily. Encourages earning, saving, and wise investment. Models behavior consistently. The children grow up competent, disciplined, financially literate. The gold grows, multiplies, and continues beyond a lifetime. That is the principle Arcad lived by. That is the discipline you must adopt. Internal transformation. Coaching insight. You have a choice. You can build wealth and hoard it, or you can build wisdom and pass it on. It's not about money alone. It's about legacy. It's about multiplying your efforts through disciplined heirs. It's about creating a chain of wealth, education, and discipline that outlasts you. Your discipline is your true wealth. Your teaching is your immortality. Reinforcement, commanding repetition. Teach the laws. Repeat them constantly. Model them consistently. Teach the laws, or watch your gold die with you. Teach the laws, or watch your gold die with you. Say it again. Teach the laws, or watch your gold die with you. Your legacy is not your coins. Your legacy is the knowledge that multiplies coins for generations. Your legacy is discipline, wisdom, and action. Final instruction. Transformation focused. Start today. Share what you know. Correct mistakes. Encourage habits of saving, investing, and discipline. Make your knowledge your greatest gift. Make your wisdom your everlasting wealth. Because coins die, gold can vanish, but lessons last forever. If you do this, you do not just create wealth. You create unstoppable, self-perpetuating wealth. You create a dynasty of discipline. You create the immortality of your efforts. You've learned to earn. You've learned to save. You've learned to invest, protect, multiply, and stabilize your gold. And now you know the final law. Teach what you know. Your journey does not end with you. Your gold lives longer when your wisdom lives longer. Your wealth survives when your discipline survives. Next step, apply every law. Protect your fortress. Multiply your gold. Teach relentlessly. And watch Babylon's timeless lesson unfold in your life. True wealth is earned, disciplined, multiplied, and passed on. Now you know Babylon's secret. Wealth is not luck. Wealth is law. Save 1/10, always make. Your money work, relentlessly. Protect it from fools. Cut the leaks, grow it with. Patience, learn before you act. Build your home. Strong, guard your name. And when you win, teach the next soul how you did it. You don't need new motivation. You need discipline. You don't need a miracle. You need Babylon's mindset. Today, you become the keeper of your own gold, because the richest man in Babylon can now be you. Now stop listening and start obeying. Thank you for listening. For more audiobooks and a wide variety of books, visit our channel. We upload all types of books regularly, so there's always something new for you to enjoy.